Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Women Carry Knives is over on the couch eating sunflower seeds, and they sound pretty good. Not going to lie, I'm thinking about going over there and stealing some.
Nope.
She says no. All right, well, I guess we should review a knife because that's what we do here. Hey, before we do that, do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button. I'd love to have you here on a regular basis, and don't forget the like button down there. Helps the channel, helps bring the content to other people, and I really appreciate it. So what are we looking at? This is a Kubey, and I know it's not really my kind of knife generally because it's small, but this is a cool knife. This is the KB285 Monster Dog. Before we go any further, we're going to take a minute and honor the fact that that is just a goofy name for an excellent knife.
Hot dog.
Hot dog. That's what Women Carry Knives said. The Monster Dog is a great knife. It really is. It was designed by, let's see, Dmitry Osarenko, excuse me, and looks like the same guy that designed the Quatch, which is very cool. If you like the Kaiser Quatch, and I know some of you do. It's thumb stud deployed. It is a sheep's foot blade. It is CPM 20 CV, which is not that common, actually, for Kubey. Don't let the size fool you. It's a lot of knife in a small package, and it is fairly comfortable, even in my big old sort of meat hook hands. The blade is really well done. It is non-threatening for you office workers out there. I recently started a new job, and having a knife that doesn't make people scream, "Murderer!" is really important. This has been an excellent carry for that situation. What's my experience with Kubey's 20 CV? Not much. I've had their S90V and I've had their S30V. My experience with Kubey in general is they do a really good job with their steels. I have no reason to believe this is anything other than that, and it has held an edge very well in the sort of light carry that it's gotten from me. The thumb studs are really a statement. As you can see, they are big. They're not blade stops. They do not touch the scales. So they're just big, beefy thumb studs, which is kind of cool. It's a look. The shape of the blade, because of that sort of sheep's foot. Thanks, Lola. I'm going to blame the dog. Sheep's foot blade means it's really good for working up close because you can get all the way out here to the end, and it's really good for draw cuts. It's really just a good utility tool in the shape of a really well-made knife. It's all titanium, running on ceramic bearings. It's got about a halfway up backspacer with a really big lanyard spot in it, big post right there, and the rest of it's nicely done. Everything is not gray titanium, is blue titanium. I don't love that as much as I used to because a lot of budget knife companies started using this blue, but it looks nice on this knife. The blade itself is a reasonably thick slice of CPM 20 CV. In fact, the whole knife is kind of chunky, which is good. The action is, well, the action is superb. It really is. It's a frame lock, as you can see. Got a nice milled titanium pocket clip. It is deep enough carry. You get about that much knife sticking out the end, right about there. Let's see. Can I shake it out? Yeah, but boy, you got to put some effort into that. If we're going to rate that detent on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being it just falls out of the knife when you do this, and a 10 being you can't open it at all, I'm going to call this a 7 because it's in there pretty good. You got to give it some real determinative flick to get it out, and it works, snaps right out with authority. It's got a little bit of jimping here where your finger lands, which is buried. There is no flipper tab. It is thumb studs only, but it gives your finger a little spot to be right there. This whole area up here is one big choil that runs up to the blade, but they managed to pull the edge away from the plunge so that you don't feel like you're going to cut yourself. It is a thoughtfully designed knife. The blade is, well, relatively sterile, actually, for a Kubey. It says Kubey, and it's got their angry logo right there. And on this side, it's got the Osarenko logo right there, and it says CPM 20 CV. But all in all, not bad. It's got the KB logoed pivot, which is pretty sure that's titanium. Hang on just a second. All right, you couldn't tell, but I went and grabbed a magnet. So the thumb studs are absolutely titanium. Yeah, You can feel the steel, but not much, right? I mean, so there's titanium right where you want it, all over this knife. Backspacer is titanium, absolutely. Pocket clip is titanium, absolutely. I ordered this because I was interested in the shape of it, right? I love the Quatch, which I recently gave away, but it's gone off to a good home. This was a lot of the things I liked about that knife done in better materials. You guys know me. I like kind of the high-end stuff, I admit it. And this knife is all of that. The edge on the CPM 20CV blade is really well done. The grind is dead even on both sides, the length of the blade, which is a nice touch. There's no smile. All of the edges are chamfered down, and as I tend to say, I guess in a lot of my reviews, but only when it's true, there is not a sharp edge on this knife anywhere except right where you want it, which is what you want. Even the blade itself, it's got a little bit of flat, nice high flat grind the rest of the way, but all this is chamfered, right? The jimping, which is a little far back for me. My hand is kind of big, so I come forward quite a bit, right? It's here. The jimping has grip, but it's not sharp. In other words, they did a good job there too. Let's do some size comparisons, which is something we tend to do here on the channel for those of you that are new. Where should we start? Well, we'll start with an old friend, the Rat 1, which is a full-size knife. Well, it's a full-size knife with a not full-size blade. As you can see, the KB285 is considerably shorter, but a little chunkier than the Rat 1. Here it is, it's another Kubey. This is the 233, or 322, excuse me. I know how to do numbers. As you can see, the Monster Dog, it's a silly name, is considerably smaller. This is a fantastic knife. If they make one of these in high-end materials, I will buy 2 of them. Yes, I will. And here it is against our old friend, the Bug Out. Now, these 2 knives, you know, it's a small knife. If the Bug Out is longer, you know the Monster Dog, anyway, you know the KB285 is a smaller knife. You get less cutting edge than you do on the Bug Out, and the handle is shorter. Overall, it is just a smaller knife than the Bug Out, but it's chunkier. You get a better grip on it. At least I do, right? If you've got big hands, but you're looking for a sort of a mid-size or smaller knife, I think this might serve you. Now, these are about $190, $187. You can get them on the Kubey website. You can get them on White Mountain. You can get them in a bunch of different places if you're interested in such a thing. And why wouldn't you be? I mean, it's kind of a cool, interesting knife. It's not as stylized as some of the Kubey stuff. It's not as kind of tactical looking as some knives on the market. But again, if you work in a social or public environment, but you want a really excellent cutter, this could very well do it for you. Let's get the rest of the specs out of the way, shall we? You are looking at 2 3/4 inches of cutting on 3 inches of CPM 20CV. The grip area from just behind that swell is 1, 2, 3 3/4, which is just perfect for my hand, right? I mean, that's why I like this knife. Closed profile is a little chunky. We're talking about 1 3/4 inches out here to the fattest spot, but because there's no flipper tab, you know, and all of this is nicely chamfered, it's not going to be digging into stuff in your pocket. You can get a pen in there or something else in the pocket with it. It's not huge. I mean, it's not enormous, but you're going to know it's there. Closed length on the Monster Dog is 4 1/4. And at its thickest, we are looking at just over a 1/2 inch. So it is oddly pocket filling for such a small knife. Don't confuse it with the Bug Out. Dimensionally, it's a little closer to the small... Help me out. This is the Benchmade Presidio 2. This is the Mini Presidio 2. My God, it's been a long week. These are a little closer dimensionally than it is to the Bug Out, but still, this is a thicker knife in the pocket. Let's weigh it. because that is something we do here. We should weigh it. And if you're still here with me at 9 minutes and you're curious how much the Monster Dog weighs, we'll find out together. I really do like the action on this knife. I think that Kubey has done a fantastic job. And in short, and even in long, Kubey has done a great job with everything they've touched recently. This is no exception. It's 4.8 ounces for a 3-inch blade. That is a little chunky. Looking on the inside, there is milling, but it's not super deep. And the full-length backspacer and the thickness of the blade, it does make a difference. Now, their specs say it's a 2.95-inch blade overall. My board brings it up as 3 with a 2 3/4 of cutting, so your experience may vary, I guess. Oh, and I suppose we should do this. The knife overall is just a 7 and a teensy bit over. The description says 7.01, which is pretty accurate. I know it looks like there's a lot hanging over here. That's the angle of the camera. But down here on the mat, it's right up against that line. So there we have it. This is the Kubey 285, the KB285 Monster Dog. A really nice, well-done, sort of utility-shaped blade in good materials from a company that has been producing just one excellent knife after another for quite some time. I hope you've enjoyed this look at it. I know I have enjoyed carrying it. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you guys next time.